Eradicator? I don't even know her! Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. Today, I'm taking a look at the DC Multiverse Eradicator, along with a quick glance at the Platinum Edition. Huge thanks to McFarlane Toys for making this video possible by sending them to me to review. Starting with the packaging, and it's our typical DC Multiverse window box. Unlike the recent Cyborg Superman, this one is specifically from Return of Superman. For those searching for their Eradicator in-store, here's the UPC. And for packaging, this stand-in Superman gets 4 points. Moving on to presentation, and Eradicator stands at 7 inches, or 18 centimeters, and is the long-awaited repaint of the Walmart-exclusive gold label Shockwave version. It shares the same body as Justice Lord Superman from the Batman Beyond 2-pack, though admittedly I can't remember which one came out first. Long story short, the Eradicator is a Kryptonian AI that took over somebody's body after Superman died. After Superman came back from the dead, the Eradicator sacrificed himself to protect Clark and restore his powers in the process. With the understanding that the Eradicator is supposed to look like Superman, the resemblance between this and the Hush figure is great. Of course, the Eradicator sports some cool shades. I have seen customs where the shades are a separate transparent piece so you can see his eyes underneath, and it would have been pretty cool if McFarlane did that. After all, you can usually see his eyes in the comic. Again, even on the box art. That said, there are other times where you can't. And I'm sure that in no way were the artists trying to emulate Cyclops, but to be honest, I'm personally fine with this. That's not to say I don't have some minor critiques. Because of the reuse with Hush, you do have certain design flourishes that spill over, things like cuffs at the ends of the sleeves, or, more importantly, separate boot tops, that not only shouldn't be there, had they resculpted the calves you wouldn't have had a situation like this with the Justice Lord version. It would also make it a lot easier for them to make a comics-accurate recovery suit from this arc. The one thing I am conflicted on is the cape. Don't get me wrong, in true McFarlane Toys tradition, it has been sculpted very well. It's dynamic and has great shelf presence, but it also does take up a lot of shelf space and does limit display options. Additionally, and he should have an S on the back of that cape. Now again, if Hush is your preferred Superman, the capes go very well together and create a nice sense of continuity, but recent releases like this amazing Cyborg Superman really make me long for a wired cloth goods cape. Don't get me wrong though, I do still like it, and I will say I do like how the S is sculpted on Eradicator much more than how it's sculpted on Superman. Of course, I don't want to forget about the Platinum Edition. The box is the same except for the Platinum Edition sticker. The figure itself is just a palette swap of the regular edition, but cast in translucent plastic. I'll level with you, I have no idea where this is from or why it looks like this, but while not my preferred design, still looks really cool. There's flecks of glitter throughout the body, kind of making it look like he's being beamed up, and I really like how the color transitions. There's a certain ghostliness to it. It looks particularly cool when you backlight it. My only complaint is the joints are all solid plastic, which does hurt the illusion. Otherwise, it's the perfect kind of platinum. A fun option for those who want it, but not necessary for those who don't. While there are some missed opportunities like transparent lenses or a less real estate hogging cape, this is nevertheless a very nice looking figure, held back only by some extra detail. For presentation, I'm giving Eradicator a good 4 points. If you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor and give it a like. Moving on to Poseability, and this is a body we're all pretty familiar with by now. Working our way top down, and Eradicator's head is on a dumbbell joint. He can look up. Hold on. He can look up this high. Here he is looking straight, and here's how far down he can look. He gets a great amount of tilt, and of course all the way around. Moving on down, Eradicator can raise his arms this high, and to McFarlane Toys' credit, that cape does not get in the way. Well, except for rotation, but no trouble on this side. On that note, and of course we have our rotator cuffs, bicep swivel, and double jointed elbow with that really good DC Multiverse bend. And then at the ends of the arms are... Wait a minute, because the hands are reused, his gloves have thumbnails. Anyway, they can swivel and hinge in any direction. Move into the middle and Eradicator has a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. He can arch back this far, which is great for a flying character, in combination with his neck articulation, and here's how that looks. I'm pretty happy. Less happy with the hunch forward, but there is a bit. For context, and here he is standing straight. Nice deep side-to-side tilt though, and of course twist. Below the waist, and Eradicator has the standard McFarlane hips. He can kick this high, which is pretty impressive, and this far back, and as usual gets a perfect split. Traveling down the leg, and I'm very pleased with the amount of twist in the hip. That double knee has a nice deep bend, and then all the way down, Eradicator has toe articulation and ankle balls that can swivel, hinge, and like Eradicator, going from a destructive Kryptonian AI to possessing a scientist to becoming Superman to empowering Superman, pivot. Held back only by the cape and the limited hunch forward, for Poseability, Eradicator gets 4 points. Moving on to Playability, and once again there are a couple of missed opportunities. As always, Eradicator comes with a trading card and a figure stand, a trading card that you can read for yourself by pausing here, and a trading card that reveals the main thing that this figure is missing: energy effects. Eradicator was famous for eradicating things with his hand blasts, so something to convey that would have been appreciated. He does, however, have alternate open hands that also have fingernails. Of course, I'm grateful for any accessories. If given the choice, though, I would have preferred these. But Playability is more than just accessories, it's also about how well your figure plays with others. And I'm sure someone named the Eradicator plays great with others. Starting with the other substitute Supermen, and here we have Cyborg Superman looking awesome, the soon-to-be upgraded Con-El Superboy, and Steel, who would also benefit from a Return of Superman upgrade. For another member of the Superman family who played a pretty pivotal role in that story, and here we have Target and Page Puncher's versions of Supergirl, bringing us to the Man of Steel himself. Again, if you want a Superman that matches this Eradicator, Hush is gonna be your best bet, but for some other options, here's a couple of versions of Action Comics 1000. I particularly like how the Atomic Skull 2-pack looks here. Next up is DC Classic, who might be just a bit too diminutive for this Eradicator, but for my favorite McFarlane Superman, and here we have Silver Age. For one last son of Krypton, however, and here's the solar suit from the Superman and Lois Lane comic. For a couple of other characters important to this period, and here's Silver Age and Dawnbreaker 2-pack versions of Hal Jordan, along with Guy Gardner, though it should technically be the blue costume version, and Mongol, who was in cahoots with Cyborg Superman to destroy Coast City. While I'm here though, and for a couple of Batman comparisons, here's Nightfall and the original Year 2, and Detective Comics 27, which if I remember correctly, I did get a request to do a side-by-side of. For a relative scale comparison, here's the Eradicator with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as always, here he is with Stealth Iron Man. Once again, for a nice consistent Superman display, I think this is your best lineup, though an argument could be made for this, and of course this, but you'd probably need to find ways of making Eradicator a little bit taller. Either way, for a proper Death and Return of Superman display, Eradicator is essential. For Playability, Eradicator gets 4 points. If you'd like to support my channel so I can make even more content, link to my Ko-fi in the description below. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. If you can find him for retail, Eradicator will set you back about 25 bucks. On eBay, he's going for between 40 and 60. Same thing as the Platinum Edition. My best advice is to keep checking stores and don't go to the aftermarket just yet. For price, I'm giving Eradicator 3 points, averaging out to a grand total of 3.8 out of 5. Once again, huge thanks to McFarlane Toys for making this video possible. For more Death and Return of Superman related videos, check out one of these, and until next time, play nice and have fun. Moving on to Playability, nope,